Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
Really? We didn't have intro music? Or did we? Yeah, that was some good intro music, my friend. Then we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotally. Well, it's just a slow news day, really. We don't have much to talk about. Well, I guess that depends on what your version of
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. I am your host, Jake Fry, and with me, as usual, is Sean. How's it going, Sean?
It's Monday. We're here. It's fan-friggin-tastic.
It's Monday. I was here. You barely got here.
Yeah, well, I still did. It's going to get easier next week when you fools have to drop your clocks back. I'm going to have a whole extra hour to prep.
Oh, I was like, how's that going to help you? All right, that works for me then.
I won't even go live till 7.
And Garrick, how's it go? Oh, that's right. Garrick is currently away. I don't know what he could possibly be doing. There's nothing in his apartment.
Yes.
But and you'll hear that later when he gets on.
Is he moving?
Yeah.
He moved to Houston.
Oh, decided to finally commit to Steven, huh?
Sure. We'll go with that.
Steven and or Matt. It's a toss at this point. And Josh, how's it going, Josh?
It's going well. Been a while.
Yeah, gosh, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
So what's new with you?
Yeah, what's going on? Any news or anything?
I recently got engaged to a 5-foot gnome. She's very entertaining. I keep her trapped in the basement, of course. But yeah,
Financially, that's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, putting a ring on it means you can upgrade her to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. And the gnome finally quit her work. She no longer works over an hour away. She is actually got a job locally. She's going to be working for an abstract company.
A what company?
Abstract. Land abstracts, basically.
Is that work? What?
Yes.
It's abstract?
Yeah, like land abstracts.
No. Well, that's where all the money is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's taking a little bit of a pay cut, but she'll earn it back.
Don't know what that is. I know what the word abstract means, but I do not know how it correlates to land.
Yeah, land abstracts.
Hold on.
Land.
Abstract land. It's,
A property abstract is a collection of legal documents that chronicle transactions associated with a particular parcel of land. Generally included are references to deeds, mortgages, wills, probate records, court litigations, and tax sales. Basically, any legal document that affects the property.
Oh, I thought she was putting shitty art.
No.
Yeah, that's where I was headed, is that she was becoming a painter. But okay, that sounds a little, at least, more stable.
I was thinking statues. And Bear agrees with me. Good going, Bear.
Actually, that wasn't Bear.
That's Higgins. Higgins got big. All right, go. Come on, you big wimp.
Isn't Higgins a little fucking dog? That doesn't sound like it.
No, Higgins is a big fucking dog.
I don't know. I never got to meet Higgins.
Nope.
Don't you have like half a beagle or something?
No, I've got a Chiweenie that's a Chihuahua and wiener dog. And then
What's
I've got
Higgins?
Higgins is part pit bull, part lab.
It could have been either. Yeah, both those dogs have good barks. Chiweenie, not so much.
No, and she barks at everything too.
Like a wheezy hiss.
Now she's got a pretty big bark for a dog of her size, but then you see her and you're like, oh, I could totally point you like down the road.
My aunt was she was with her son down in my grandma's basement, and she does this she's oh, look at the dog, and I'm like, damn, because it sounded just like my aunt imitating a dog. And my uncle, literally his wife does the impression. He goes, when did you guys get a dog? Like, Jesus. You got married for your looks. Not a bright man. Love my uncle, not a bright man. When did you guys get a dog? It's actually pretty funny. You guys missed that you weren't there and have 30 years of knowledge of this man.
Yes.
He once jumped the fence at Disneyland to get sunglasses and got arrested for it. Only guy I know of we had to visit in Disney prison.
Disney prison?
I would imagine that Disney jail is actually probably one of the most horrendous oubliette type prisons that's ever existed.
You know, I'd probably agree with you there.
It literally, I mean, it didn't have bars, but it was Lexon?
Oh, so it was like
Lexan.
So it's basically Magneto's prison.
Yeah, it's a real fucking thing. And it reminds me, Magneto's prison does remind me of the Disney prison. Not world, land. So California, not Florida.
I would imagine that
Florida has bars.
I would imagine that the Florida Disney World prison would be like Supermax.
Oh yeah, just tunnels of fucking degenerates and whatnot.
Because they can, they don't have that lenient California law they have to worry about over at Disneyland. They have the actual pound me in the ass prison that they could put up at Disney World. Mm-hmm. The California wishes they had, but they're too soft on crime.
They don't wish it.
All right, so anybody have any random topics they want to start with, or we're going to get into some shit? Because I want to start off with the heavy stuff. If you guys
let's talk about how haunted houses are horrible.
That works for me. Haunted houses are horrible. Continue.
I went to a haunted house last night, and it's named after a incident in Tulsa called the Hex House. Yes, I'm
that was not the one I was thinking of, but okay.
No. It's. I'll read you the history of the Hex House. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, that's kind of creepy. Fucking Google's listening to me.
Was there an advertisement for it?
No, there was a deal for Hex House Tulsa.
Neo on his stream 2 days ago had leather jackets and female leather thigh-high boots for half his advertisements. I'm like, you want to tell me something, Neo?
Yeah, he hasn't clued on to that. If you don't have an ad blocker, that you get shown all that stuff on your stream.
I remember Matt's old streams.
He's kind of boomer. Okay.
And I told you my Google story, right? About Google listening. I was talking about The Thing. I mean, you can't get more generic than The Thing, right? Mm-hmm. So you say The Thing, and it was actually pulled up an advertisement for The Thing I was talking about, which is a tourist trap in Wilcox, Arizona.
That's weird, since I would immediately go to John Carpenter's movie.
Right. No. It pulled up an actual advertisement for the Thing I was talking about. Not the movie, not anything generic that Thing would imply, but the specific The Thing I was talking about.
Okay.
You sent Poet a super chat? Was it talking shit about me?
Huh? No.
You sent Poet a super chat?
I sent Poet a super chat.
Was it talking shit about me?
No, I wasn't talking shit about you.
Why not?
Because his audience is not our audience, so they wouldn't understand.
That's for sure.
So, okay. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. I found the story of the Hex House.
Poet's audience is a bunch of mellow people who are really into music. Not my audience.
Yeah, I cared for about half of the stream that Poet had up, which, that's fine. I like the dark stuff. It was a little too EDM for me. It could have been a little harder, especially for a dark themed show, but it was good. Listened to all 4 hours of it.
Oh, I'll have to check it out after the tonight though, because there's not a lot of talking, so it's like just beat after beat after beat.
Yeah, there was no talking. It was just stock footage of Chinese overnight truckers and some spooky-ish sort of EDM beats, if you can call weeb EDM dark, which you really can't. But for what it was as dark, I guess, as you could get it.
It's like bubblegum pop, but like really deep bubblegum pop. I know those aren't words. Hey, did you find the article?
Yes, I've been trying to talk for like 5-6 minutes, but
I've been covering to you for like 5 or 6 minutes. Go ahead.
No, you guys have continued on carrying. So, a 1944 investigation by police revealed a small casket buried in the backyard of a Tulsa house, and 2 young women who had been under hypnotic or occult control for 7 years. The probe was nicknamed the Hex House case because police and reporters thought it had all the spooky elements of a Halloween story: bondage, spellcasting, mesmerism, hypnotism. But this case was real, not a Halloween tale, and led to a short prison term for Carol Ann Smith, 45, and freedom for the 2 young women, Nell Willetta Horner, 30, and Virginia Evans, 31, who had been forced to live in an unheated basement of the house at 10th East 21st Street and to turn over their paychecks to Smith. The young woman told authorities they had been led to believe that they would receive a great reward in heaven called the Big Payoff for serving Smith, who apparently had devised a religion of her own. Horner told police that Smith had starved and beat her under the guise of religious purification. The investigation was touched off when Smith obtained 8 World War II ration books for herself. The 2 young women, several fictitious names, and a daughter, Bonnie, that actually was her dog, Bon Bon. Neighborhood children told Alice Allen, the teacher at Lee Elementary where ration books were issued, that there was no Bonnie, but the Smith had a dog named Bon Bon. They also knew that Smith and the 2 young women had buried a casket in the backyard in the middle of the night. When police investigated, they discovered Horner and Evans living either in the basement or in the servants' quarters and sleeping on orange crates without blankets while Smith lived in luxury. They found 45 pairs of expensive women's shoes, many of them unworn, silverware and glassware, clothing, jewelry, expensive furniture, 18 pairs of new gloves, and cash. Meanwhile, the young women wore tattered dresses to their jobs and had no cosmetics, although Smith had enough to stock a drugstore. The hundreds of beauty items and perfumes were kept in her bedroom. When they dug up the backyard, police first found a dog's carcass buried in a cardboard box, and underneath that, a small cask containing a carcass of Bon Bon that had been buried 5 feet deep. Books dealing with the means of developing willpower, magnetism, and self-mastery of fate were found in Smith's house. They also found writings by her that dealt with the means by which the human mind could be affected and about witchcraft and magic. When the case got to court, it was something less than the sensational and lurid case observers expected, but it was still puzzling. The big question, of course, was how did Smith control the 2 young women? Horner testified she always followed Smith's orders. She said she was told in 1940 to have nothing to do with her family, and that from then on, her last name was Sherman. She assumed that she had been adopted by Smith, who sometimes used the last name Sherman. Evans testified that we thought she was leading us into a good life. She always quoted scriptures to bring out her point. She said they fitted it in perfectly with what she wanted us to do. In addition to receiving the paychecks of the 2 women, Smith received $31 a week from Evans' father for her support and extra money to pay for a nurse. She had written him that Evans was mentally ill and needed a nurse that would cost that amount. A district court jury found Smith guilty of suborning, inducing, perjury, and sentencing her to a year in prison. She pleaded guilty in a federal court to a charge of using the mail to defraud Evans' father, a wealthy Stroud merchant, and making false claims to obtain ration books. She was placed on probation for the latter crimes. The subornation charge stemmed from a municipal court case in which Evans and Horner testified against a neighbor who lived in the adjoining duplex of the house. He was charged with assaulting Horner. Horner said she and Evans were told exactly what to say in their testimony, and they were rehearsed for hours. She finally typed a script and mesmerized it, she said. So, basically, yeah, kind of an interesting little case, but is it that spooky? No.
It's interesting that the perp is a female.
Yeah.
Not that surprising.
I think the cleverest part was the burying something above the thing you buried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was interesting. The original hex house was torn down in 1975.
Oh, speaking of, the original Nightmare on Elm Street house is selling for $3.1 million right now.
And some idiot will buy it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just the house is selling for $3.1 million. It's not like the same Freddy house or anything like that.
Is it in California?
Yeah, well, it's in California, and it's like 5 bedrooms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
But it's not like... Well, I mean, the Amityville house is also in New York, but it's in Amityville. But the Amityville house is like 4 bedrooms, and it's on a big piece of land at the lakefront, so...
And it's also a fairly large house. It's got a lot of square footage. It's like 2,400 square feet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big old bitch with a full basement, like straight up. But it actually has been modified over the years to really not resemble the house at all anymore. But the Freddy house looks just like the Freddy house. Minus the door, because the door used to be red.
Okay. So, does anybody want to see what this woman looked like?
No?
No?
Sure, why not?
Look, is she hot?
No, not at all.
If she's hot, that'd be a different story.
It's the 1940s. I mean, looks are subjective from then, so yeah.
She either needs to be hot or look like Nurse Ratched. Those are the only two I'll accept.
No. Just no.
Well, stop teasing us and show it.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, share. Boom, boom, boom. That's about the hex house. Yeah, so this is apparently Carol Ann Smith.
And they have pictures of the 2 girls that she...
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're retarded.
I know.
Pretty much. I mean, she kept 2 modestly good-looking women in the 40s from getting married and having children and having normal lives.
Yeah. So, just thought it was interesting. But anyway,
That's a nice house.
They have a haunted house named after its, namesake. And it sucks.
Well, it's Tulsa.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. I think all haunted houses are like that. They don't bother me. Mainly because the stuff is not real.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't faze me. Now, if you get like a 1,500-pound bison charging at me, I'll probably jump. But this stuff, I mean, I was more annoyed than anything else with, God. There was one part where they had a guy in a pig mask that was half naked with a dulled meat cleaver, and he clanged it right in front of me on the post as I was walking. I'm like, bruh, really? So,
You're so manly.
it was just, it's all the same gimmicks. It's pneumatic rams, it's pneumatic blow-offs, it's sensory overload with flashing lights and everything else. As long as you focus, it's just nothing. The only part that actually kind of was actually really kind of cool in the hex house was they have the walkway that goes through a spinning tunnel where it's supposed to disorient you.
Mm-hmm.
And this one actually had the walkway looked straight, but it actually had a slight cant to it, so you actually did go a little bit sideways in the railing. Because I was trying to focus on the ground and not even look at the dead ahead, and I couldn't help but go over to the side of the railing. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, it's the haunted house is mainly preying on recent horror movies as well as sensory overload and just auditory gimmicks.
You would think that, like, in places back where you guys live, where they actually have, you know, mid 18th century homes or older, that they could turn that into something actually creepy and spooky. But yeah, they never do. They just focus on sensationalization. Wow, that's a word. And like you said, sensory overload, which I'd much rather just see like a creepy old mansion that has like shit you're not even sure you saw or heard. That would be much more interesting to me.
Mine would be way more subtle.
Yeah, there was a there was a guy dressed as a demonic scarecrow. He was out walking, you know, in the lines, trying to scare people that weren't paying attention. And I got up next to him and I told him a joke. One of those very corny scarecrow jokes, you know. What is it? I looked at him and said, "Hey, did you hear about the scarecrow that got the Nobel Prize?" He just kind of looked at me. I was like, "Yeah, he was outstanding in his field." So, that was my... Hey, it was a cheesy...
You gotta go with jokes so bad that they're funny.
Yes. He just kind of looked. I think he was laughing, but he walked away.
I had...
I never got screwed with the entire time.
I had that the pig head chain from Saw. Chasing. They're supposed to run out and chase you into the start of the haunted house, but I wasn't running, and I guess like his instructions were like very clear to chase them into the haunted house, so he kept revving up the chainsaw behind me as I walked to meet up with everybody else at the start of the haunted house. But he like tried to look like he was running. Like, fuck you. I kept looking back at the guy like, what are you doing? Like, you're not gonna make me run. I have a Glock 19. Beat your chainless chainsaw.
Yeah, they wanted us. We came in. I had to leave my knife and my firearm in the vehicle as well as my flashlight.
They have a metal detector?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Time to get a plastic flashlight at least.
Yeah, G2 from Surefire.
True that. Sorry, finishing a piece of pizza.
Yeah. They Erebus, the haunted house I was talking about, did have one really great effect, and it was a video playing of a surgery on the wall, and they open the guy up and there's a parasite inside, and the parasite bursts out of the wall. You couldn't tell looking at the wall that there was a hole in it, and that was pretty good.
I mean, go ahead. Sorry, didn't interrupt.
As someone who is into special effects and magic, I wasn't prepared for something like that to happen, and I was like, that's pretty good.
I will say, in defense of haunted houses, my favorite ride at Disneyland is the haunted house.
The Haunted Mansion? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good one because it's fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Unlike actual haunted houses. But no, about the only thing that they were doing that was actually kind of gross is they were playing. I'm probably going to get so much shade for this, but Rocky Horror Picture Show was playing up on a projector. Yeah. Can't stand that movie.
Michael Jackson Experience was a pretty decent couple of scares for Disneyland. Or was it Universal? Probably Disneyland. So that was pretty good. There was like this one part where a magician was disappearing a spider, and then he couldn't find the spider, and then you felt it go underneath your feet in like this whole row of people. So clearly something was dragged across the row, because everybody like stood up and jumped and screamed, and it brushed me, and I was like, "Gee, what the fuck is that?" So that was pretty good. All right, that's enough Halloween talk. Let's get into the actual spooky shit. So, not to be outdone in Loudoun County, for a quick recap of what happened in Loudoun County in the end of last year, a girl who it's claimed was having a sexual relationship with a gender fluid individual was caught in the bathroom by same gender fluid individual who raped her anally and orally when she said she was not going to be part of that. And then at the beginning of this school year, when the parents were outraged, it happened to be mentioned that since the implementation of the tranny toilet brigade, that there have been no assaults within the school. And the dad stood up and said, "That's not actually true." So for a little backstory, the girl gets sexually assaulted, and the parents are called in. The dad thinks he's coming in for a incident that involved his daughter, and then finds out that incident was a raping. They didn't call the police because they were going to handle it internally until the dad became outraged, and they called the cops on him. He mentioned what happened to his daughter, and they managed to do both the kicking him out of the school police duty as well as the investigation of her rape duty. So that's the first really big red flag. They're not interested in pressing charges against the kid for the rape, but they're gonna press charges for trespassing against the father. It gets talked down. It doesn't happen. But the rape goes on, so they move the kid to another school, and as it comes to light that there's been an incident in the school, a parent gets in contact with the parent, Mr. Smith, who had his daughter anally and orally raped, to say, what was the kid's name? Because there was an incident in a classroom with a kid in this other school district, or this other high school in Loudoun County. And it's the same kid who has now been convicted of sexual assault, and the students are protesting it now. The sheriff of Loudoun County has decided everything that's happening is bullshit, and his people are getting the wrong end of the stick on this one. For literally when the dad in early September or late September, early October, stood up to confront the superintendent, got taken out by the Loudoun County sheriffs with his shirt up around his head and his pants down around his ankles. Absolutely embarrassing, the poor guy. Unfortunately, this guy's not very smart, and I wish he was better to defend his daughter, but he's in an unfortunate plumber.
Yeah, he's noble but stupid.
Yeah. But the sheriff is like, listen, you guys are up to some shady shit. You've got 6 of the 9 of you are on a Facebook group that is hunting the parents of Loudoun County, calling them racist, trying to get them fired. You've brought this upon yourselves. You'll not be getting my deputies involved with this again. You already make us look bad. We will be giving you no extra attention besides for the attention we were already going to give you, because we protect the parents as well as your dumbasses.
Well, and it gets even weirder than that.
Go on.
So the school board has already set up private security for the school board meetings. They have their own security team that they've hired.
Because of what the sheriff said.
No. This happened even before the sheriff said no. They had their own private security that they brought in, but they also wanted the sheriff to do the duty too. And they made some seriously unreasonable requests of the sheriff's department. They're like,
yeah, they wanted like 5-person undercover team.
They wanted a 5-person undercover team as well as a SWAT team on standby, plus officered uniforms. They wanted like 36 people at the same time to cover these school board meetings. Like 5 undercover, like 12 officered uniformed officers, and then a SWAT team on standby. And the sheriff is like, you've got to be out of your fucking mind. You guys are doing shady shit and won't stand up to the people that you work for. And you expect my team to take the brunt of this just to be your muscle? No, we're not playing this game.
Take the brunt and the budget. Because that's 36 officers that had to be brought in from off hours.
Well, we will definitely see how this plays out come tomorrow with the gubernatorial race over there in Virginia.
Yep. But unfortunately, not to be outdone, Hazard in Perry County, Kentucky, has been having some very shady shit happen all on its own. Now, in Virginia, the original incident all stemmed from Terry McAuliffe's 2016 bent to get critical race theories not taught but applied in his schools. And Loudoun County fully embraced it. But that's just to cover that base. What's happening in Perry is a Facebook post went very, very viral for a very interesting reason. The coming home dance, because that's what we're into right now, decided to have an event, which has been happening for years and years, but this is where it gets weird. They did a male striptease as females, down to lingerie, and then gave lap dances to male staffers. And at the end, received spankings, these teen boys, from the staffers. And everyone said it was good, honest fun, which there is some weird stuff that happens. The University of Michigan has a naked mile. It's illegal to run around naked in Michigan, but it's a tradition, and they kind of ignore it, even though it's some kind of funky bullshit. But that was step one of the really weird shit going on in Hazard School. The principal, who is also the mayor, has incidents going back to 2008 in which his daughter and her friends were caught smoking and drinking in the back of his SUV in pictures with him at the wheel driving them. And an additional just weird thing, a very weird thing about Perry County, you don't know the political leanings of the people you're voting for. It's not stated at all. There is no D, there is no R. It's the person themselves that gets the scrutiny, not the party. So this guy's name is Donald Mobilini. His nickname is Happy. 2 years ago, he was still the principal of the school, and on a field trip to D.C. in a junior year, one of the girls at a hotel room was raped by one of the boys, and Happy Mobilini forced her to sit and be confronted by him in an effort of him and another staff member to convince her that what had happened to her was consensual sex. These people are demons.
Well, they're definitely self-protective. I mean, the last thing that I can't believe I'm defending this because it's damn near indefensible, but it's understandable why they would want to do that, to protect the ability of the school to have these sorts of functions, because the last thing that they need is a credible incidents of sexual assault or rape happening while they're not in, if they cross state lines and that happens, that the feds come a knocking.
As they should.
I agree, but I at least you can understand the rationale behind that action. It's still nasty and deplorable, but you can at least understand the rationale of that. What you cannot really fathom is the rationale of the rest of the shit that's going on in that school district with male students giving lap dances to staff members. Because if if you change the sex of the student doing that, you would have immediate outrage. If it were high school girls doing strip teases for staff members, jokingly or not, you would be on a bonfire in the center of town.
Mm-hmm. That happened in my high school. Not my high school, but a neighboring high school during a talent show. The girls did lap dances for boys on stage at the talent show, and everyone was suspended. The boys who just got lap dances also suspended. But not Hazard County, Hazard City. The county was Perry County.
The schools, it's Hazard High School.
Yeah, Hazard High School. Sorry, Hazard High School. It's also the name of the city.
Yeah, the county's got a different name. We're not quite to the Duke boys level here.
Yeah, it's Perry County, and Diz and I spent an hour and 10 minutes just going through everything on this guy, trying to figure out. Because if this had been Matt Gaetz level of shit, it would have been Republican mayor in every line. But because they don't show what party he is, we had to go back to his a run he did in another city and his political voting. And he votes and is a Democrat.
Gee, I'm shocked.
But not to be outdone, going on with Democrats and kids and fucked up situation, Broward County, the home to Ramen Hair Noodle Girl, and Parkland Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, brought the elementary school children to. What kind of field trip would you take elementary school kids on? Like a museum, maybe some sort of farm to see how where the sausage is made. Nope, they go to a gay bar. And I forget the name of the gay bar, but it was voted the best gay bar in South Florida. So that's nice. And field trip to a gay bar for elementary students. They have a burger called the left one, and it's called that because sometimes the left one's bigger. And I appreciate that on a humor level, but what the fuck?
Right, for adults, it's pretty innocuous. It's like the least gay, seedy gay bar that you can come across. I saw the pictures and everything like that. It's basically just a gay, sort of vaguely gay-themed beach tiki bar. Like, it's certainly no more offensive on the surface level as Hooters, except it happens to tout itself as a gay bar. So it wasn't like a seedy gay bar, but the fact that elementary school kids are taken on a field trip to a bar is just as offensive as that bar being a gay bar or a straight bar. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking bar.
Think luau night at Cheers and not luau night at the Blue Oyster.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I went from dairy farm to animal farm real quick up in this bitch. But that was so this guy, obviously there needs to be some sort of federal involvement. But this guy obviously has a history of getting children drunk and then shit going down. The principal / mayor. Because there's a couple other stories that involve that exact situation.
Yeah.
Crowder had on a book from a Virginia school that literally had sisters giving each other blowjobs with fake penises and complaining that they couldn't feel the blowjob in their fake penises. Which is unsurprising because the term fake penis was being used. It's just quit
There
with
is-
their kids. This
yeah,
actually
you-
happened in Knox County last week during the Halloween dance. There was some confusion and some molestation of some children. Some dresses were pulled down and some skirts were pulled up, and they're 100% looking for what happened. They're interested in investigating what the hell happened. They brought in their security, the resource officer. It's being investigated, and while they're making every effort to catch the people, they're also attempting to downplay it as much as possible, the rumors and whatnot, because they're trying to save their reputation. Fuck your reputation. Save the students. I don't give a damn about your junior high. I give a damn about the junior high students. But, the hormones are super runny and you're in a mask.
Right. And accusations are just that. I think you need to actually have some sort of proof that there's a actual incident before you go.
9 girls went to staff at the same time.
Yeah, well then, screw you. You're trying to protect yourself.
Yeah. They're trying to mitigate the rumors, but mitigate the rumors after you found who did it and why. That's not one kid doing something weird with another kid, and neither of them really having an issue with it because it's weird for both of them, but they're trying to discover something, is different than this. This was a public molesting of a swath of people, a plethora of juvenile girls. We just got to find out if it's one kid or many kids or what the situation is, and then prosecute the ever-loving shit out of them, because you don't do that. That wasn't curiosity. That was havoc. There's a difference. I've gone to a gay bar. You got to go to gay bars. So you can go, all right, so this is a gay bar. Like a straight bar, but gayer. Also been to a lesbian bar, and they were a lot less accommodating there. But I was delivering food at the time. They still wanted to fist fight me. You got your foot long. Oh, apparently that was wrong thing to say. But stop it with the kids. Bill Maher is pretty much on the level of Steve Bannon in September. Well, in August. Steve Bannon was saying, wait till mid-September when these parents start finding this shit out. They're gonna go crazy. Apparently Bill Maher is on the same bandwagon. So that's an interesting bedfellows.
I think Bill Maher finally, I don't know what happened, but somebody caught him. I don't know if it was the Covington kids or if it was something after the Covington kids, but he got to the Covington kid thing so late that he took so much shit for it when he supposedly, made a comedy bit or reported it on his show, that he had to then start actually vetting the stuff that was being put up by his staff members.
Yeah.
And I think he finally got a hard dose of reality. And he's still a lefty, make no damn mistake, but there are a lot of actual liberal lefties that are coming around to the insanity that's been going on in their name for the last decade.
Yeah. Destiny himself has said the Kyle Rittenhouse situation is the clearest self-defense situation I've ever seen in my life on tape.
Yeah. And the kid needs to get his day so that he can get lauded for his excellent, superb shot control skills.
Mm-hmm.
Every round that he let loose found its target.
Only its target.
And only its target. And there was no ammo wasted. There was no shot that wasn't a good shot to take. And he that is the best gun control I've ever seen.
With the exception of he did take a shot from that the black guy, hit him with a skateboard, and he pointed the muzzle at the black guy, and the black guy dropped the skateboard and backed away.
That goes to show that that's even 100% on point gun control. That guy is removing himself from the situation and is presenting as no longer a threat. You don't shoot that.
I would have shot him for hitting me with a skateboard.
And you could probably argue self-defense in that case and probably win. But as far as Kyle goes, this is evidence in his favor that he's like, yeah, I'm really good at identifying threats. That
Absolutely.
guy was no longer a threat. I knew not to pull the trigger on that one.
That dude is the only one who rocked him, the kid with the skateboard, and he's the one that didn't get shot.
Well, the lefty shot was a really good shoot because that he was holding a gun that he was trying to level off at Kyle.
Lefty?
Yeah, lefty.
That's what it's called now.
You're talking about
Gross cuts.
Gross Kreutz, or
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
Yeah. Yep.
No, not the rapist. Oh no, wait, that was a different guy. The serial abuser.
Yeah, you're thinking Skater
that
Diver.
was a different guy.
That was the rapist. No. He was the rapist. He was a sexual assault guy. The other one was a pedo that got killed first.
No, yeah, the pedo died first, and the sexual assaulter, abuser second. Then it was just what was he? Felonious thief
Yeah,
with a gun.
with a gun.
The
Yes.
felon with a gun who didn't get charged.
That needs to come up in the trial too.
Mm-hmm.
We have a felon who has a firearm who got his left arm incapacitated.
Right arm.
Or right arm, yeah.
That's why we call him lefty.
That's right. The defense absolutely needs to bring that up and go, why is he not facing at least a firearms charge?
Yeah. If they're able to get in, Kyle watching a riot and his friends recording it saying, "I wish I had my AR," then it absolutely needs to be let into evidence.
I thought that got dismissed.
Yeah, it's not allowed.
Hold on now, because it can be brought in during examinations if anything is said to the contrary. But if it is brought in, I want Greuskreutz, who, when in the hospital, his friend quoted him as saying he should have emptied the mag into that little fucker, or whatever he said.
Right, no, they need to call him as a witness.
Yeah. With the IG post next to it. Sir, could you read your IG post?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. What'd I miss?
Nothing. Unless you want to hear about the history of Hex House.
Ha 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 ha.
Mike Cox says, I prefer the term disarmed. Easy there, Horatio.
Kids don't get that one either.
Am I old? Is that what
Well, no, it doesn't matter how old you are. That one is a history joke.
Yes, it is.
Oh. Yeah. Just my fucking god. We can move over to fake news if you want. Raggle, tell us about fake news.
What about fake news?
It's bad. No. There's a video going around of Melania looking away from the Donald and frowning. And that is video that has been played backwards. And it's actually her turning towards Donald and smiling. So that's right up there with the dumping the fish, the editing of Donald from an outcrop of him and the what is it, fucking Emperor of Japan? What are they doing these days?
No, is it the premier?
Prime Minister?
The premier, yeah, it's basically the prime minister.
Cult leader? Whatever. Margie's on the defensive, but I need 30-year-old women to defend me, Margie. Here, a couple decades later.
It's a history joke, Margie, because he's referring to Horatio Nelson, who famously lost an arm.
That was actually Horatio Kane for the disarmed joke from CSI Miami. But sure, whatever. No, Horatio Nelson lost an arm.
Like a Chad to a cannonball.
But so they did everybody see Trump dumping the fish food?
Yes.
Did you see both versions of it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, they played her. She's got resting bitch face, which is fine because she's gorgeous in either look, but she was just not smiling to smiling. And you can tell by Trump, who's making weird faces, that he was clearly saying something to somebody, but they played it backwards, and they're like, watch Melania make a frowny face. But
Well, I mean, they had to spin it somehow because, Trump did the tomahawk chop in Atlanta during a Braves game in the World Series, and the Braves won.
yeah, and they want to make it like, oh, I thought Trump was anti-MLB. He is. This isn't about the MLB. This was about supporting Georgians in Georgia because they took... What did they take from Georgia last year?
The All-Star game.
The All-Star game, which is anti-MLB. But they won, right?
They won that game, yes, on Saturday. I don't know what the series stands at. I should probably look that up. I haven't watched it.
That was game
3 or 4. 3 or 4. Hang on.
No, I think they're 3. They were 3-2-1? 3-1?
Let's see. Atlanta leads the series 3-2. Game is tomorrow in Houston.
Oh, then they lost.
No.
Yesterday they played. Right?
Hang on. Where is it?
No, they played Saturday. So it would be. Did they play today?
They played yesterday. Astros won yesterday, but the game that Trump was at was Saturday, and Atlanta won 3-2.
So they played Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah,
and traveled.
Well, no, because they didn't travel. They play. It's 2-2, 1-1, and 1. So the first 2 games were. Hang on, let me pull this
in
up.
Texas, because the third game or the fourth game. Wait, no.
Yeah. So they played the first 2 games in Houston. Braves won the first game. Astros won the second game in Houston. Then they went to. They won. I guess they're doing 3-3. Wait a minute. What? World Series. Here we go. Okay, game 1. Yeah, game 1 at Houston. Braves win game 1. Game 2 at Houston. Astros win, leaving the series tied at 1-1. They travel to Atlanta. First game in Atlanta was Friday. Braves won. The game on Saturday, which is the one Trump was at, the Braves won.
That makes it 7 in a row of Braves winning at home. So what was the next game Sunday?
Sunday was yesterday. The Astros won.
Where?
In Atlanta. So it was 2-3-2. It's 2-3-2 is how they're doing it now.
So they killed the winning streak of the Braves then as well.
Yes. And now they're traveling back to Houston today, and the game 6 is tomorrow in Houston.
So tomorrow's a big day.
And then if they need to, if the Braves don't win tomorrow, game 7 will be Wednesday.
In Georgia or
in Houston.
In Houston. So that's interesting because we got the Florida. There's nothing in Florida actually tomorrow. We've got the Virginia vote tomorrow. We've got the World Series tomorrow. We also have New Jersey voting tomorrow, so don't forget them. If the incumbent wins, he will be enacting draconian mask laws and pushing that shit starting Wednesday. But that's a hell of a big day for Tuesday. I'm getting a vest on Wednesday. That's exciting. I love fleas. I'm so old, I now need something simply to warm my core. And I'm fat, so I should already have something to warm my core called fat. It's ridiculous.
Should probably start walking.
I do walk. Those buffet lines don't come to you.
Fair.
Are they open? Like, I don't know what's open right now.
Park at the back.
Park in the back.
There's a Chinese buffet here that's open, but it's snowbird season, so of course it is.
We had a Chinese buffet in Michigan that got visited by a lot of Chinese, so like it was just close to them. But apparently, like the food, I've always had delicious food there. So, like nothing lasts so long that it gets nasty because it all gets eaten. But walk faster from the back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I find it ironic that it's the Chinese buffet that's open here during snowbird season, meaning that it's exclusively populated by high-risk COVID, high potential risk COVID, for COVID people. Bunch of old people at the Chinese buffet for the China virus. So
speaking of the China virus, that might be what's going around the Timcast compound. Because they had a super spreader event Sunday.
No, that was last week.
Yeah, but it takes you a couple days to get sick.
Oh, that's true. Are they sick? Did he not stream tonight?
Well, he didn't stream since Wednesday?
Really?
And I didn't get an alert tonight. He didn't do his daytime stuff. I know that for sure.
Ah, let's check. Yeah, he would be live now, and that would show up on my feed, and he is not.
Yeah. So apparently, super spreader event. Which one of you fuckers couldn't pass up Tim Pool? I went there with the coof. I missed a dear friend's birthday or wedding for this bullshit.
I wonder if this will change his tune about authoritarian jabs.
Yeah, Jack Murphy.
Yeah. I've decided I don't care for Jack Murphy.
I don't either.
Nah.
Something about him smacks me the wrong way, and I just can't put my finger on it. I should like him, and I don't.
Yeah, same.
Did you watch the stream where Ethan lost his shit about Dave Rubin selling locals to
I did.
I did see that shit. That was pretty messed
Ian
up.
is so fucking not right.
He wigged the fuck out.
I'm just saying, Mastodon, man.
Meanwhile,
Tim Pool's
Mastodon is a
supposedly doing other things not
horribly
related to sickness.
Mastodon. Have you guys ever tried to go use Mastodon?
Yeah,
No.
I fucking failed.
It's horribly curated behind all sorts of gates to keep anybody with an independent opinion out of it.
Like, I did the Linux thing, and I was like, pretty straightforward. And then an attempt at Mastodon, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Does it hate me? I think it hates me.
It might not be COVID that's got the Timcast, the Tim compound under duress. It could be that super cold that's going around that isn't COVID. It's just a really nasty cold.
The brand new cold that affected one person in Montana? How does that happen? Was that person out of state? Did it just appear in that person?
I blame Canada.
Blame Canada. I agree.
Blame Canada.
Except they've got their border shut because they think we're the diseased, dirty ones.
Yeah.
So, has Australia turned into a war zone yet?
Not yet.
No. Yes.
Okay.
The are we invading Canada yet? I heard Captain Candace Owens, the leader of the right-wing attack squads, ordered the hit. So, is it something we're doing? Invading? What are we gonna do? I don't even want fucking Australia. It's like Canada. You can only, like, people are only around the border. Same thing with Australia. They're just around the borders.
I can guarantee, Margie, I can guarantee you that everybody at Timcast has been poked.
Oh, I don't know. I think Ethan has a crystal for that.
He might be the only one that isn't, but I know for a fact that Tim is poked, but he's just upset that he doesn't. And this is the right course to take. It's nobody's business if you are or aren't, and he's running his business like it's up to you, which is the right course to take. But I can pretty much guarantee you Tim's got the vax.
My brother's vax.
You think he got the jab?
Yeah, my brother's vax, but refuses to show his paperwork.
Right, that's the right course to
He got vaxxed
take.
because he was worried about grandma, and he got it done like 7 months ago.
Right. No, that's the right course to take. You make your personal decision. What's wrong is being told to prove it.
Yeah. He was like, I'm healthy enough, it's not going to affect me, but I don't want to give it to Nana, so I'm getting it for her. And then apparently he had like really sore for 3 days, which is fair because I just got a vaccine a month ago, and my arm sucked for 3 days. Like, that's just what happens. They're injecting shit into muscle. Yeah, if I was a betting man, which I am, only with my life and whores, then I would bet they were all vaxxed. Except for Lydia. She's what's she got? MS?
Yeah.
Oh, Lydia can't get the jab because her doctor told. Yeah, she's got like MS or something.
Well, and isn't she trying to get pregnant too?
Is she? Are they breeding over there?
She's married.
More than chicken?
She's married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She mentioned something about sending my.
Yeah, she used to be a RN, didn't she?
She was something in the medical field. Yeah, it's been referenced.
Maybe a nurse practitioner. I don't know.
RN, NP. She was something in there. Or no. I thought she was in administration.
Probably.
Is a nurse administrator or something?
Because, her medical knowledge isn't all that great. It's like cursory, like as if you were just dealing with the paperwork sort of thing.
Yeah.
And to her credit, she's not saying that she's medically trained or has medical degrees or anything like that. She just worked in the field.
Neo put out something from, apparently there's a Timcast whistleblower named Christina who is clearly ardently left-wing. Who apparently she's claiming that the Timcast compound took everything from her baby, the love of her life, and now that she has nothing left to lose, she's going to destroy them. I was like, okay. Like I disagree with like half the things he says. What are you gonna do to me to make me like him less? I'm currently hate watching both You Are Here and Slightly Offensive. You can't affect me, chicken. Like, what do you got for him?
Oh, you mean the what's his name? Ian Shriver or whatever his name is?
Elijah Schaefer.
Elijah Schaefer, yeah, that guy. Yeah, I don't care about those guys.
I'm like 90% sure he's gay. And I keep fighting Bunny with it because she's actually she was like Bible school friends with him. Christina is Tim's ex Molly. So is the baby is that the cat? Is this the cat? Is that what we're talking about? The baby? And I saw her. She's kind of dumpy looking. So
Who?
Tim's not really pulling well with that beanie.
Who's dumpy? What?
Christina.
I could believe that Tim probably runs that compound with an iron fist.
Like
He
you don't
strikes
think
me as the
Crowder
kind of
levels
guy that
of,
would actually do that.
Timcast.
Hmm?
What? Sean or Josh?
He strikes me as a guy that would actually do that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's his
Yeah,
baby.
but like,
He's gonna run it his way.
I mean, it is his house, so
Mm-hmm.
although I think like he's on par with Ethan. Apparently, Ethan's loaded
Ian?
Me-
because he
Ian?
buys dumb shit.
you mean Ian?
What did I say, Ethan? Okay, whatever. I don't care. I only watch Timcast because one day Ian is going to be so mind opened that his brain actually falls out.
I mean, just don't talk to him about graphing. Jesus fucking Christ.
He's not wrong about that.
I just for all the fallout that Tim had with Adam Krigler, Ethan pulls or Ian. Now you got me doing it, Jay. Fuck you. Ian pulls so much more heinous direct confrontation with Tim. I'm at a loss as to how Tim would put up with it. Whereas Adam just got a little bit lippy and he was like, "I will fucking crush you, Krigler."
Well, here's why. Because Krigler was very, very pro-Trump. And he was adamant about supporting that on the show, which Tim didn't want. He wanted to present a neutral position. But as soon as Krigler's gone, he ends up saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump." So.
Well, I mean, and that was the funny thing because he wasn't really gone.
Who?
He was still in the Timcast compound. He was filming from another room there. Like when he does a live show at 6 and the guest is quartering, and then quartering comes on at 8 for a live stream that he's clearly drunk in. Like, what the hell? Like the entire Timcast has been on Adam's streams.
Yeah.
So like they're still. I think he recently moved, but other than that, what the fuck?
Did he come back to Arizona?
He was there for the election last year because he had to vote.
Yeah, he was still registered here. I knew that.
Yeah. But I don't know. But I think Ian is like equal partners with him, like financially, with what's going on.
Or maybe he's the geek that he's got doing all the infrastructure work, and he cannot afford to get rid of him.
I can't imagine Ian being that useful, though.
Ian, you got to remember, he co-created Minds.
Yeah, but how long ago?
5 years ago when they created Minds.
I'm thinking that was before the ayahuasca kicked in.
And what's interesting is Ian's like my age.
Yeah.
He's like what, mid 40s?
Early 40s, yeah.
And Tim's what, barely 33, 34?
35. He talks about it.
Yeah, he's my age.
But yeah, give or take, yeah. He's slowly coming around, like his Alec Baldwin talk. I that's something I fully agree with him on.
Who, Tim?
Tim, yeah.
Yeah.
But then like other stuff, it's like, you could deal with
He's starting to see the monsters for what the left they really are.
Mm-hmm. Because, and it's not like
I think so.
It's a personal growth thing. It's like I said the wrong thing once and they attacked me, but I'm sticking with that wrong thing, and now I realize you guys are monsters. So I was offended by the offense you took of my offending you, and now I'm here.
I mean, just watching Tim Pool's growth on the Second Amendment stuff has just been very interesting, very similar to Matt.
Very similar. But I think what happened is Tim
Did Matt get a Barrett?
Tim finally got to the point where he was
No.
wealthy enough that they started coming after him.
Yeah.
It's not.
But he was right about Hassan Piker. He did have he made $3 million with Twitch when they were saying it was closer to $1 million a year. It was like $3 million, 2 years.
But yeah, but that's just the raw Twitch payout. That doesn't include the super chat equivalent or the Patreon donations, or in the case of Hassan, Uncle Chank's kick in.
Yeah. That, which is why I said he was right, because 2 years, $3 million is closer to $1 million a year than it is to $3 million a year.
Right,
So,
but that's just one revenue stream, though. That's the thing.
That's why I agreed with Tim saying $3 million.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So he pulled an opposite Kaepernick, is what Margie's saying. Once he got away from his commie girlfriend, he woke up.
Yeah. Speaking of Kaepernick, didn't he like say that the something
the
like
NFL
that?
is slave trade.
Yeah, something like this. It kind of is, but like this is my beef with Kaepernick is that this guy has lived a charmed life. Everything has been handed to this cat.
Not only a charmed life, a white life.
Right. And everything has been literally handed to this cat, and he's got the audacity to sit there and bitch, piss, and moan.
Yeah. Crackhead mom gave him up. He's adopted by a elite white family who raised him in white schools, and much like Obama, chose to be black every step of the way. Now, the draft, the NFL draft, is much more slave trading than it is than the MLB. But I was watching something, and they were talking about
extremely well compensated slaves. I'll just put that.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I'm saying that the process of the draft is.
No, I agree with you. It's very,
trade.
very reminiscent of the slave trade. I totally agree with that. But it's not like they aren't getting compensated.
I forget who it was, but they were talking about not enough blacks in zookeeping.
What?
Yeah, they were saying that there's an underrepresentation of blacks in zookeeping, and somebody who's black was trying to change that. And I was like, there's not a lot of black guys. Black auctioneers. I think that there need to be an equal representation of black auctioneers. Hassan is a whole grift, and the worst part is he's getting so much shit. Well, he's Kaepernick is half black.
Yeah, he's an Oreo,
and he is trying to be as black as possible when he was raised white. So it's pretty much the best definition for him.
White mother and then white adoptive family. An affluent adopted family, I might add.
Yeah. But he made Obama choices the whole way. Obama was raised by a white woman. He chose to marry a black woman. He changed his name from Barry Sorrento to Barack Obama. I mean, the guy's name's Kaepernick, for Christ's sake. I'm reading Mainers. Tim was a boring average guy of middling IQ till he found what looked like a beanie in a meteor crater and put it on, not knowing it would shift alien brain parasites of slightly higher intellect. Yeah, he's not the brightest bulb in the drawer.
He's making millions, dude. How bright do you have to be?
He's making millions off the same decade of work. I'm 5 years into this, and I'm making negative $7.99 a month. So I should probably shut my fucking hole.
Yeah, I say I'm negative just on the infrastructure costs.
I'm
But,
paying you guys to be here.
I am not making a living off of this, nor do I care to.
Oh God, that would be a nightmare if like people started showing up and I'd have to actually do real research because I'd feel I owed it to 10 people.
Well,
Thankfully, it was only 8
we
here.
still do more research than BreadTube.
That's fair enough. Seriously, if this audience was twice the size, I would have articles in front of me.
Yeah, I'd Neo up this stream real quick if that were the case.
And now we're moving on to the injustice tabs. Every so often I have to remind everybody I was a teenage magician because that brought all the pussy to the yard.
It's like, learn the accordion. Chicks dig it.
Do they though?
No, they don't. That's the joke.
So who wants to... Sean, you want to get into the President Poopy Pants?
I literally know nothing other than apparently the rumor is that Biden shat himself in an audience with His Holiness the Pope.
Yeah. So the White House keeps making up these bullshit excuses for shit that happens to Biden. Like they said that... okay, Josh, what sort of dogs do you have?
I have German Shepherds.
Would you ever, freshly out of the shower, touch one of your German Shepherds?
No,
Why is that, Josh?
because they shed hair like crazy.
Oh no shit! I got a German Shepherd 30 years ago and I know that. But they claim Pride broke his foot as he got out of the shower because he reached to pet his dog. And I don't even fucking know what the rest of that story is. Point is, he was going to pet a dog with a wet hand out of the shower, and you just don't do that. I mean, like, certain dogs you can. Not German Shepherds. Not German Shepherds in the spring, for damn sure. But, good freaking Lord. That's a terrible excuse. But they're claiming his delay wasn't because he shit his pants with the Pope, but because when he was in the elevator, he played with the buttons, which is something an adult who is the president with the nuclear football should not be accused of doing. It's like, your
He's a grown-ass man. He can do those kinds of things, right?
Uh-huh. He just couldn't press buttons in the elevator. So I'm like, okay, both those stories are true. He shit his pants because he couldn't stop pressing buttons in the elevator. You happy now? You're not fake news. I believe you.
See, I can believe that Biden crapped his pants. I mean, we watched Nadler do it.
As he shuffled off the way.
Yeah, why not? Why not Joe? Joe's actually a lot more down the road of falling apart than Nadler is, and if Nadler can do it, why not Joe?
Yeah.
Hey, is this shots fired, you fucker?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna Google how to delete a moderator, or at least ignore them. This is
Hey,
two different streams you're attacking me on. I appreciate this.
You still have Poet Stream. You can get me there.
You don't have wrench there?
No, I am not wrenched there.
What the hell, Poet? I had a Rottweiler with a tail, and I don't recommend it. They have cartilage in their tails, and it's a very stiff tail. Same with Dobermans. So you cut the tail down, and that's for their safety because they can get some pretty nasty. Have you ever seen Randy Couture's ears? That can happen to a dog's tail. But our happy little Rottweiler would beat the shit out of you with that tail. But also, I've had them with their tails clipped, and I had a Rott named Sadie. No, Kimba. Kimba was the Rott with the Sadie didn't have her tail cut. Kimba had her tail cut, and she had this colic that stuck out of the end of it that just ruined her coat. It didn't ruin the coat, but it just looked bad. It was like alfalfa at the end of her tail, and you couldn't get near her to cut that colic off, because she remembered. But it's like, ooh, like Like, okay, we won't cut it right now. We'll wait for you to be busy. That's fine. And but I think the real taking the cake is the picture of the leaders together, and Trump is damn near smack dab in the middle of everybody in his picture with them the year before. Joe Biden is all the way on the far left and 2 people removed.
I did see that picture. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, he didn't even get in for like the regular shot because I'm like, you pooped yourself, Joe Biden, didn't you? I mean, no shame in that game. Just bring a second suit with you.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and buy all the same suits, exactly the same, and just do it all over again. But, what can you do? What else we got to talk about? Oh, Church of Satan in Pennsylvania won their court case, and now Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania can no longer say anti-cultish or Satanist clothing cannot be worn in schools. So, nailed it there. What else we got? Anybody have any good stories?
I didn't even really look at the news today.
I've stopped looking
only
at the news.
The only thing I saw was an American Airlines pilot was accused of saying "Let's go, Brandon" over the intercom.
Oh yeah,
no.
and American Airlines apparently pulled a Southwest and canceled like 1,000 flights.
No. Southwest pilot said, "Let's go, Brandon," but he didn't say, "Let's go, Brandon." He said, "Let's go, Braves." But American Air dropped like 600 on Friday, 800 on Saturday, and either 13 or 1,600 on Sunday. And they're blaming it on both the weather in Dallas because it was windy in Dallas, but yet they're canceling. They're claiming that the cancellation affected people, the stewardesses in the Southwest, but then they canceled flights to like Washington State. So that makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, why they can't just admit the truth that it's staffing problems due to the fucking mandate. Just own it.
They can't.
That would be
They
too
have to.
easy.
No, they can't, because if they cause delays that were not related to weather, that new customer bill of rights, traveler's bill of rights, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about? The new bill of rights for the passengers?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, the point is that there's a new established protocol, and if it was for anything but weather, the travel company, the American Airlines, is responsible for getting hotels for those people. So by them claiming weather, they're not responsible for those fees.
Okay.
I smell some class actions happening here in the next 6 months.
Would be nice.
It's going to end up costing them more than it would have cost them to just put the people in the hotels.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson were seen together. Do not care.
Isn't Kim still married?
Technically to Kanye, but we'll see. They're getting divorced.
Are they?
Today, 11 hours ago, American Airlines canceled more than 250 flights. So that's like 4,000 flights in the last 4 days. 5 days.
Class actions are coming.
Yeah. All right. Well, fellas, I'm gonna hop off here.
Okay.
So
Alrighty.
I will shout at you guys later.
Take care.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Mhm.
So I hear
We
you
also have,
moved, Garrick.
I moved to the north side of the Sam Houston Parkway. What the hell is that noise?
And that's my wife sneezing up a storm in the background.
No shit.
You want to go and check on her and or put her down?
No, she's fine. That's how she sneezes. It's like 18 really horrible sounding sneezes, and then she's done.
It sounds like she's like in a puffy sweater with the sleeve over her head.
Yeah, she put her head in a pillow to do that.
A pillow. That's not close enough.
Mm.
Good news, hon. You're done here. We're taking you out.
Take me out back.
Old Yeller style.
Yes,
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. We got news break. What's going on in news break? Man wins $200 million lottery. Beard and school coach steps down. Lindsey Graham on January 6th told officers to shoot they asses. Ban and school-wide mask mandate could happen. What does it mean for Knox County? Don't care.
Let's see what we got going on.
Tennessee Senator Brian Kelsey surrenders to U.S. Marshals following an incident. Jessica Simpson celebrating 4-year sober. Good for her.
Biden appears to fall asleep during climate speech despite claiming it's the greatest threat to U.S. security.
Take a nap now.
Sean, to answer your question a little more directly, do you know where Humble, Texas is?
Hang on. It's been a while since I lived there, so...
You used to live in Houston?
I believe it's north of Pride, Texas.
I used to live over in Spring.
Oh, okay. So Humble would be east of Spring, about 20 minutes, and I'm on the border between Houston and Humble.
Yeah, I used to live in Shenandoah, Texas, which is a really tiny speck of a town that's kind of has been engulfed by the woodlands at this point.
Yeah, we were considering moving to the Woodlands, but then we got a slamming deal on this apartment where they gave us the first month's rent for free.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to pass up in these days and times.
Yeah. Well, and the apartment itself is a little bigger than the one that we were looking at in the Woodlands. I think it's about 150, maybe 200 square feet bigger.
Well, I will say that the Woodlands is probably a way better neighborhood.
Well, I mean, I did the research, and it is like one of the top tier ones, but then this area also happens to be as well.
Yeah, it's not a bad area. Certainly for Houston, it's not a bad area at all.
No, and it's a little closer to the city. And I really kind of like the Woodlands just because it's literally woodlands. It's woods.
Yeah.
Woody areas. So a little more naturey. But yeah, I settled on this.
Yeah, a little bit after the stream, I'll shoot you at the address of where I used to live.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be fun to kind of go drive around and check it out.
Why after the stream? You're scared they're going to find out where you used to live and stalk you?
No, I just don't want Steven and Matt to head up there and faggot up the area.
Yeah, keep them in their own neighborhood. Don't go coming into mine.
Love you guys.
You should do it right and invite Margie. She'd enjoy it.
Yeah, there's shit for these type of. Oh, they will both be reviewing this week. The Supreme Court, both the abortion case in Texas and the New York gun case. So we could get like some possibly mixed news or some very right wing news.
Oh, what came of the Right, the Kyle Rittenhouse case. I didn't hear
Oh,
bother to look in on it today.
nothing.
It was
nothing,
jury
nothing.
selection today.
Oh, okay.
it's
So nothing
pre-trial
really
stuff.
started yet. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Then.
Although one guy did, this lady goes, like anything else that would preclude you from being a juror. The lady goes, I'm a gossip. Like, I'm like, I
Okay.
don't. And then the judge goes, well, if you want, I could sequester just you for the 2 weeks. He's like, oh, I think I can hold it. And the next guy is like, actually, I'm anxious. I get irritable bowel. They're like, do you need frequent breaks? I was like, what is up with this? But I think it's important to know that 1,500 people were brought in. They're looking for 20. And the ones we heard from were troublemakers. They were all troublemakers. There were people sitting there who might have needed to raise their hand because they answered something like, would your significant partner like be mad at you if the case didn't go a certain way? And like any woman there with a conservative husband like needed to raise their hand, but like didn't elaborate on anything. But other than that, you're just hearing for the libtards, which they mostly excluded themselves, which is nice. But the judge, they were waiting for the audio to get up, so he was playing like Jeopardy in class, kind of. I mean, it wasn't class; it was court. But he was like, "Hey, what is this?" Yeah. There were so many gun owners though that excluded that being pertinent because you can only reject so many people, and you just can't do that to gun owners. But they want to because the prosecution is going to lie their asses off. Not with lies, but just misinformation.
I'm expecting them to lie.
You think? I
think they will.
We didn't talk about Terry McAuliffe. Not Terry McAuliffe. The Project Lincoln taking the bullet for Terry McAuliffe.
Trying real hard to, and they did it right quick. So that just kind of leads. They don't want people looking at the actual.
Some kind of somewhat haphazardly, though. You have to admit.
Yeah, it's full bullshit.
Yeah.
The Terry McAuliffe campaign sent 5 people in khaki pants and white dress shirts in the rain to stand out front of
Youngkin's bus.
Yeah, Youngkin's bus and claim they were white nationalists for Youngkin. Yeah, when 20% of the group were black, 20% of the group were female.
Yeah. Mistakes were made.
And 100% of the group were Virginia Democrats.
Right. And I will say this. I don't think it was the McAuliffe campaign that did that.
2 of them worked for the McAuliffe campaign.
No, 2 of them are DNC operatives. National DNC operatives. That chick is from here. She's an Arizonan.
Yeah, it says she was responsible for turning Arizona blue.
Right. No, this was national DNC trying to do some sort of fuckery. I don't think it was the McAuliffe campaign on its own. I think it was national DNC.
But she's working with the McAuliffe campaign now.
Well, of course she is because he's the Democrat. But it's a tangential sort of relationship. I don't think she's directly working, like taking a paycheck from the McAuliffe campaign.
I think it was on Terry's orders because he is that bad at what he's doing.
Well, yeah, I can't put it past him, but I think that was a national DNC sort of thing. I know it's a good idea, guys. Let's do this. Yeah, and nobody was smart enough there to go, yeah, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. We're going to get caught immediately.
Easy with the worst false flags ever. I don't know if you heard a little thing called 9/11.
9/11 was an inside job.
7/11 was a part-time job. Like, are we still pretending Project Lincoln is at all right wing? No, not since they started fucking kids.
No, they're mono-party degenerates that claim to be conservative. Oh, quit whining, you big baby. I'll open the door. God. Spoiled, rotten child.
Sorry to hear about your drop, Margie. Blood type might be O positive, but you need to be positive.
I think O positive can only receive O positive, if I'm not mistaken.
Meanwhile, everybody else can receive O positive.
Right. Everybody can take O positive, but if you are O positive, you can only get O positive.
Well, I guess that just means everybody can get O positive. Good luck, Margie, on that.
Hey, it's funny you mentioned that because my brother happens to be O positive.
Well, have him send Margie a quart. Yeah. Take boiling water, put it in a bucket, empty it out, fill it with blood, and then seal it and send it down to Margie.
Where are you located, Margie? Rough area, state, city-ish, not like.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Don't put your address up there.
Address, Margie.
Yeah, don't be black
magic. I was going to say, let's not condone doxing.
No P.O. boxes.
Please. Ooh, Margie. I didn't think you were the type.
Salem, Oregon. I don't know if that's close enough to get to quickly. I don't know if I'm a match anyway.
I actually need to grab one of those tests, because I've absolutely forgotten what my blood type is. I was looking around for dog tags the other day, and I was like, "What the hell's my blood type?"
Let's see what the status of the vote is thus far.
I used to live at 612, not Wolf, but Cashew. What? Are you looking up Jersey or Virginia?
No,
the movie.
Thank you. Likely. Yep. I'm just curious. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote Heat. I really like Heat.
I forgot what I voted for.
It doesn't matter what you vote for. It's just going to be overridden.
Well, they're picking Short Circuit right now and Demolition Man. Demolition Man was pretty good.
I like Short Circuit, even though it's
what is Short Circuit?
Johnny Five Alive.
Yeah, it's Ali Sheedy and a robot.
And what's his Fisher is a fake Indian guy with a god awful accent. Fisher Stevens?
I don't remember. I remember it was a movie from my youth, and I remember even in my youth going, "Wow, this is really fucking dumb."
We kick you in the.
So why Short Circuit? It's not really a culturally relevant movie.
It is, because it's what WALL-E was based off of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man. You don't go talking your shit. Who gives a fuck about World War II?
I mean, if we had to pick the most culturally relevant ones here, probably Tombstone has the most quotable lines. Starship Troopers would be second.
Because they've been talking shit about that for. Yeah, it was Fisher Stevens. I forgot Steve Guttenberg was in it. I love Steve Guttenberg.
Oh, I forgot about Guttenberg too. Yeah.
Mm. Wait, isn't he the guy from? No,
Police
no,
Academy.
there wasn't. It.
Please don't be wrong. Whatever you're about to say.
What was the show with the Olsen twins?
Fucking what?
The
You know what?
TV show when they were
Never
like
mind.
kids, when they were
No.
tiny. It wasn't. No, he wasn't in that.
No.
What was a movie he was in? Involved a dolphin for some reason. I don't remember what that was.
Cocoon?
Hmm?
It Takes Two was with Steven Gutenberg, and they
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
yeah.
And it was Kristen, what's her face?
Dude, I barely remember that movie.
Yeah, when you said it, it jogged my memory.
Wasn't it Kirstie Alley?
Yeah.
But I still haven't seen Two Lava Tulantula. But yeah, I love me some Steven Gutenberg.
If he does not tan well.
Jewish, did I mention that?
Mm. Okay, Police Academy.
If Hitler had known
okay.
Steven Gutenberg, he might have changed his mind on Jews.
I should have grabbed the damn soy sauce when I was out there. All right. So where's the movie list? Hang on. Let's see here.
Matt Christensen Media.
I'm gonna have to probably go Tombstone. This is actually a decent list, though. Oh, Escape from New York, done.
I knew you would pick that.
That's
I knew it.
That's why I asked
That's
if it was
easy.
my list. It's a pretty good list.
Yeah, it's not bad.
How is
I
Short
don't know.
Circuit winning, and how is Demolition Man second, and Tombstone's on that list?
I know. Yeah,
He's on that
okay,
list
well,
too, man.
That's
Okay,
the problem with
to be-
having a young audience. I swear to God. That's
to be
that's
fair, Blonde. To be fair, I think Blonde was pushing Demolition Man. So
I mean, it's not a bad movie, but there are others that are better on this list.
yeah,
Sometimes
Like-
I want to punch artistic people though, like the outfits they had Wesley Snipes' crew in.
Zeus and Roxanne. That's what it was.
Are those car parts? Is that a fucking hose to a? What the shit? I want to force Matt to watch Delirious. Like, just that movie Delirious is John Candy. He's a writer for a TV show, and he passes out and he wakes up in the fictional town he created. And he finds out that he has the power to, while he's in this town, to rewrite what's happening in the future. And it's like it's in its 20th season of the show, so like everything is absolutely out of proportions, and that one guy's getting poisoned radioactively, and he's falling apart during that. Just it's pretty funny.
Where the fuck did this movie come from?
Which
A Scanner Darkly. What the?
That's a good movie. It's got a great cast.
I can see it has a great cast, but what the fuck is this?
It's an acid trip.
Mm-hmm.
Pass.
Yeah, if you haven't done acid, pass on that.
Like seriously,
Mhm.
all
Also,
of these,
The Cell.
the two worst movies on this list are Scanner Darkly and Short Circuit. Yet,
I
Short
believe
Circuit
what you're saying
mid.
is the 2 worst movies on this list are great.
Like I said, the whole list is pretty good, but like how does Tombstone or The Lost Boys not win this almost instantaneously?
Or Heat. I mean, Heat's really
That's
fucking
easy.
Heat's
good.
also a good movie, right?
Yeah.
It's not as
Mhm.
good as Lost Boys or
I've
Tombstone.
never seen The Lost Boys.
Well, it's easy because those will be back.
Did you watch the Cannonball Run, Garrick?
I did not.
Ah,
I added it on my watch list though on either Amazon or HBO Max. So
oh my God!
is this Burning Man? Is this what this is about? After moving to a new town, 2 brothers discovered that the area is a haven for vampires. Okay. Is that? Yeah, it is Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer
What?
Sutherland.
Did you just ask if The Lost Boys was Burning Man?
Well, I just see the trailer starts off and it's like something burning in the background and people are
Yeah, it's a
Play
bonfire on a
music and shit.
beach.
Is that
Yeah,
them
it's a-
playing a
made me think
saxophone
Burning Man.
sexually?
Yeah, sweaty saxophone guy.
yeah, exactly.
No, he's awesome. He's got his own YouTube and Facebook following.
Does
sweaty
he?
sax,
Or
sweaty
following?
saxophone
Okay.
guy. Yeah,
He's got his own action figure.
he probably does.
Ooh, Edward Herman. Cool.
It's also got the Coreys in it.
I like a scanner darkly for the pictures. No, the cast was great. I had to watch it. I do not do acid. Never done acid. I had. If anybody has ever heard the story of the guy who got caught in the rain with a sheet of acid in his pocket, I literally know a guy who didn't get caught in the rain, but had to run to the bus and sweat through his shirt, and the acid absorbed into his skin. And he is not the brightest bulb in the drawer of sharp objects anymore. And we're still friends on Facebook. Occasionally I'll get a text message that's like a Google search, and I have to Google search it for him and send it back to him. But he was a friend of my brother's, my older brother's, and he used to try to sell me weapons like crazy, and I would buy them. Hey, you want this pair of nunchucks? $20. And I'm like, those nunchucks probably cost $20. So yes, I will buy them from you because I'm 12. Drugs are bad. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, they point to like Carl Sagan and his use of weed. Carl Sagan got high like once a month and thought big thoughts on things and expanded his horizon on fucking marijuana. Now, Kid Rock does weed daily. Does anybody call Kid Rock a mental giant? I don't know a single person who does a lot of drugs and has their shit together. Like
Snoop
even
Dogg.
JC, who's fucking totally rich.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg's in debt and in taxes like crazy. Willie Nelson owes like everything to the IRS. They're spending millions of dollars to keep from failing. Snoop Dogg could be a billionaire if it wasn't for his idiocy. Well, Willie Nelson would have also been comfortably well off if it wasn't for shenanigans.
Well, Willie Nelson is also famous enough to get other people to pay for whatever he needs. So
But then there's also like Alyssa Milano, who made millions and lost millions. She's currently owes like $750,000 to the IRS. If it wasn't for a smart investment 50 Cent made when he was throwing money around like crazy, he'd be in prison right now. Unlike Wesley Snipes, who got screwed by his accountant screwed him. That's why he's in trouble in hot water. But MC Hammer is in trouble financially. Will Smith went bankrupt like 3 times before he gave his money to an accountant and said, "Don't let me touch it," and he still doesn't touch it. He makes $20 million a movie, and half of what he makes goes into an account he can't touch.
Yeah. Pretty sure Neil deGrasse Tyson smokes a lot of weed.
Yeah,
Tyson is like the dumbest smart person I've ever experienced.
Yeah, he's not nearly.
He says some stupid shit for being as well educated as he is.
Yeah.
So at my new job, we were doing the onboarding process, and one of the things we did was they picked a couple random people for me and the other guy to kind of talk to, that, people that have been with the company for a little while. And she made the mistake of bringing up Joe Rogan because I told him I like listening to podcasts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, she likes to listen to people that he likes that do like martial arts and fighting and weightlifting and fitness and shit like that, because that's what she's into. I told her I'm more like the guy who likes Dave Rubin, Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, those kinds of people. And then when Alex Jones comes on, it's just...
I like how you just named 3 lefties.
You
just named 3 lefties.
Why not? He doesn't have enough people from the right.
I
said Alex Jones.
I didn't hear Alex Jones.
And that... Yeah, I brought up Alex Jones, and she was like, "Oh wait, that's the guy that does the." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, he's the guy that does the whatever you were about to say."
They're putting chemicals in the water, trying the frogs freaking gay.
I told him that guy is just the best meme machine there ever was.
Yeah. My brothers are very hard workers too, and they're alcoholics, and they don't have a pot to piss in, and they make like $4,000 a week.
Yeah, that'll do that to you. My philosophy always was, look, if you show up to work, and actually do work. As long as you don't fuck up, you don't hurt anybody, don't hurt yourself, we'll be just fine. And whatever you do in your time is your business.
My brother's a roofer, and they have a policy of no falling off the roof. If you fall off the roof, you're fired.
Yeah, that's a good policy. Like,
you're fired
you're gonna
before you hit the ground.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to get fired mid-flight. Yeah, no work.
Well, my brothers end up fucking up like every once in a while, and they have to sell like 3 roofs at once to have the money to pay for the first roof that they do, because they have to buy all the equipment all over again.
They literally sell all their shit every time they do a job.
No, not every time, but like they'll fuck up like once every couple of years, and they'll have to sell like 4 or 5 roofs at the same time just to make back the money to get the deposit for the equipment. And like the first one's deposit equipment, the second one is deposit is to buy the equipment, and then the third will be the deposit on the second house, and then it takes them like a week to get back into the green or black, red, whatever the fuck is. Jeez. Bad for you.
Have any of you ever fallen off a roof?
No, and I'm gonna try to keep it that way.
I have. I've fallen off a roof.
Oof. Yeah, I've never fallen off a roof.
But
came
lucky,
close once.
I fell into the dumpster, and I had torn off shingles to catch me. So that was nice.
That doesn't seem like it would be a comfortable thing to land on. It's not like it's.
No, because they're full of nails.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But where I landed perfectly and didn't get punctured by anything, but I still fell 7 feet.
That's not too bad. It's not like you went 15 feet to the ground.
No. But I've seen people fall to the ground. And we've never had like a broken bone from it or anything, but I've seen some stupid people.
I've been lucky so far. I've never seen anybody fall, but I was told a story about a guy who was putting the felt that you put before you put the shingles on, and he was unrolling it, and he was just backing up. Next thing you know, he's just, all you hear is, up!
Mm-hmm. I crushed gutters once. I had 3 loads of shingles, which is about 225 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was about 275 pounds at the time. And
I'm surprised that ladder was rated for that weight.
The ladders can be like 700 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't a step ladder. It's an industrial ladder.
Okay.
Well, the ladder itself is like 35 feet long. So it has to, there's fulcrums involved in like the height of the ladder versus the
angle, yeah.
Ladder.
Mm-hmm.
They're double ladders. There's 2 ladders in each one.
Right.
Because I got tired of, we were on one roof. It was a 2-story house, and the ladder came to just underneath the roof. So everybody was having to throw their legs over and find the ladder. And I was like, never again. Buy another ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, 75 pounds for a 25 pack of shingles.
Yeah, I've carried 2 packs at a time before. I won't do more than 2 though. That's too much.
Here they use tiles for the roofs, so they just get put on by crane. Nobody's hauling those up the ladder.
Tiles? You mean like the half circle kind of deals? Okay.
Yeah. I've never done one of those.
Me neither. Seems simple enough though. What makes them stay up? Like,
They all have a nail hole in them, and it's a pretty hefty nail.
Okay.
It's like a 1/4-inch drill bit size nail that gets hammered in.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that one nail has to support, damn near 10 pounds of tile.
Sure.
My brother, we don't know how he did it, but he was nailing a shingle, and it's 3 nails, and he somehow was moving, because for somehow these idiots, my brothers, they put nails through hoses. I'm like, how is the hose above the nail gun? Like, what are you doing wrong that way? But he put one into the palm of his hand. And, like, I could understand the back of your hand. How did you get it in the palm of your hand?
He was just trying to imitate our Lord and Savior.
Yeah. He was like, hey, it's almost Halloween. Happy Christ Day.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to take him to the ER. And they lay him out, and he's got his hand up, and they're bracing it. And the doctor comes in and he grabs these snips, and he cuts off the barbs because there's a wire around the there's 2 wires on each side of the nail in a coil of nails that you load into a nail gun. And the one set was above the skin, and the other set was just below the skin. They cut him off, and the doctor goes, okay, now for a little bit of fun, I want you to reach over and grab whatever instrument you want for me to use to pull out that nail. And my brother's like, you're the doctor. And he goes, just do it. And I swear to God, I'm watching this happen, and I know, because this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, the doctor's just going to pull it out with whatever instrument he has in his hand. He didn't. He didn't have an instrument. He just grabbed it with his fingers and pulled it out. But when he pulled it out, he goes, "Oopsie!" And he pulled out the fucking nail while my brother was reaching for it. And I don't know why that needed to happen because he was completely anesthetized.
I guess to
But
distract him. Who knows?
yeah, but he goes, "Oopsie!" as he pulled it out. And
Was he Indian? Because you're making him sound Indian.
yes, he was absolutely an Indian guy.
Yeah.
But he goes, "Boopsie," and he pulls it out. And for some reason, my brother was pissed about it. I don't know why, because he didn't see it happen. Anyways, I did. But they wrapped it up, and my brothers don't have fingerprints because they're roofers, and the abrasive roofing materials cause them to go through like multiple gloves a day, and when they fail to change out their gloves, they lose their fingerprints. And that's just a thing that happens in roofing. Good luck with that.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever seen that was relatively close to that. So have you ever put up solid sheeting?
Like drywall?
Well, this is okay. So drywall, if you're doing it cheap, you'll have the studs and you'll just put up drywall. But if you want to be a little more bougie about it, you can put up basically OSB plywood first, then your drywall, which does two things. It helps to insulate for sound and heat, and also it makes it to where you can put a nail anywhere you want. You don't have to look for a stud if you want to hang something up or whatever. We were putting up solid sheeting one day, and a guy was coming down off a ladder after having nailed the top, and you use staples. You don't use nails. So he's got a staple gun. It's about 2.5 inches long, but it's a staple. It's really fine. And he comes down, and that gun just stops right on his knee, and you hear pap, and he just freezes. And he can't bend his knee for the rest of the day. We wound up bringing him to the hospital, but all they fucking did was just pull it out like we would have done. The only difference was their tools were, anesthetized. Or not anesthetized. What is it?
Sanitized.
Sanitized. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's that's one of those wounds that you get and you're like, it probably hurts like hell, but it's one of those ones you really only blame yourself for, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, had his finger on the trigger, let that sucker touch his knee, and pop.
Yep.
That actually happened to my supervisor long before I was ever around, but he told me the same thing happened, and he had them pull it out on the job site, and he said as soon as they pulled it out, there was no blood, there was nothing. It's like any pain, any stress that he had, it was instantly relieved as soon as they pulled it out. He went back to work.
We got stuck on a roof once because of there was multiple job site, and the roof was high off the ground, and we had to have the ladder in the back of the dump truck to get onto the roof. And my brother was supposed to be back at 2:30, and he didn't get back till 3:30. And we were throwing flashcards onto the ground, and then using nails to try to pin the flashcard to the ground with the nail gun. So we just held back the safety on the contact safety, and we're just shooting at nails, and we ended up putting a bunch of nails in the tree. My brother came back and saw it, and we had to pull all the nails from the tree. Like, fucking good. We had this big thing. It was like 2.5 feet long, and it was like a push mower, but it wasn't a mower. It was just a magnet. And we pushed it all around the front yards to make sure we picked up all the nails and stuff. So because occasionally like it would pop a tire on like a push mower or something.
Like a drum magnet.
Yeah, and that thing was always fun. But that was like when I was 12. I want to push the nail magnet.
Let the kid do it. He wants to. Have fun.
Mm-hmm. But still, 20 years ago, my brothers were paying $10 an hour for the ground crews.
It's not bad money. It's hard work, but it's not bad money.
It's not hard. It's just
It's
tedious.
labor. Yeah, it's labor.
Yeah, it's like
All right, we can wrap this up here and move into the off hours so I can pick a fight with Steven about something and or anything.
all right.
Somebody just on a TikTok where I mentioned that they said he was too busy pushing buttons to make it to the meeting. He said, "Alamo, no way they said that. I'd say either or is insane, though." Like, yeah, it happened. Did we talk? Shut up. Did we talk about Elon Musk and his $6 billion?
No.
So, who was it? Feed the Children Fund or whatever. Anyways, this group says, Elon, give us $6 billion to solve world hunger. Meanwhile, that year they had made $8.6 million or $8.6 billion. They still didn't solve world hunger. So Elon says, I will cash out $6 billion in Tesla stocks if you can prove to me that $6 million or $6 billion will solve world hunger. And I think that's great. It won't, because there's like 1 billion starving people, and that's Taco Bell number 4 each for them once.
Did you hear about Elon wanting to start a school in Texas?
Go on.
The Texas Institute of Technology and Science.
I like it.
All right. I may attend.
I wonder what their mascot would be.
Tesla? Like the guy?
It's a Tesla death rays.
I'm
small
thinking
waifu bird.
probably being an owl.
Oh, that would be a
hooter
female
of some
goddess
sort.
of wisdom. Elon destroyed 3 check marks in one thread. Oh, speaking of destroyed check marks, Ibram X. Kendi defeated pretty severely. What's his name? Ibram X. Kennedy in a Twitter thread. The man kicked his own ass. So he's got that going for him. He literally discredited his entire life's work in a Twitter thread. And like at the end of it, he realized it and deleted it. Oh, that's pretty fucking funny. His claim that that 3/4 of white people claim marginalized status of some sort or another, and an additional grouping. Anyways, it comes out to be like 80% of white people claim they're minorities to get around and use perceived lying about having minority status, which means that white privilege isn't a thing. He destroys his own argument. Yeah, white privilege doesn't exist according to Kennedy. So he failed his way to that conclusion and deleted it before he could lose all profits gained in 2022. Just absolutely hilarious. If you guys were in my DM group, you would have seen it. But you have to be so toxic, Twitter deletes you. That's not my fault.
All I said was whore lives matter.
More lives do matter. There you go.
And now a word from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
All right, yeah, let's skedaddle. We'll get out of here and that'll be that for this.
Sounds good to me. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.